It's not a lot of fun being in the middle of the road. But when we're talking about Android tablets or iPads, I think the middle of the road is that Goldilocks zone for a lot of people. The top of the line Galaxy Tabs have all the bells and whistles, but are pretty pricey, and on the low end you have to make some compromises. But here, in the middle, at around $500 US at the time of this video's recording, this tablet checks all of the boxes for me. The FE in the name stands for Fan Edition. They're doing it for the fans. In Samsung's lineup, these tend to be the products that cut some of the top line features out of their flagship tablets to get the price down, and that's exactly what's happening here. So you can't get that big 15-inch ultra size here, but you can still get an 11-inch like the one I have, or a 13-inch plus version. You can't get that top of the line OLED screen, but you do get a really solid LCD panel. You don't get that full 120 Hz refresh rate on this display, but you do get a respectable 90 Hz. And while all of those high-end features are really nice to have, do you need them for art and drawing? No, not really. See this box behind me? It keeps falling over. I could have been hurt, Derek. Sorry, Brad. I could have been hurt. Inside the box is not a lot. There's the tablet. There's the S Pen, there's a USB Type-C cable for powering. No power adapter here. That keeps this box pretty thin. This is a bring your own power adapter situation. The S Pen is the main draw for artists. Get it? Main draw. Main draw. That's a good one. Where was I? They're right, the S Pen. I love these things. This is a Wacom powered pen, so there isn't any wobble or any wave to the line. You have really good pressure sensitivity. It's super accurate. It is a battery-free stylus. It never needs charged, and boop, it comes here right in the box. Right in the box. You don't have to pay extra for it. Crazy, right? Nobody tells Samsung that everybody else is charging like $80 for their styluses out here. Seriously, Derek, cut that part out of the video. If you are curious what other Android tablets I recommend for art, I do have a page on my website specifically for iPads and Android tablets where I rank all of the ones that I review. How much lag you get on the pen really depends on which app you're using. It's really not that bad. If you go looking for it, you can find it. But really, that's the case on most devices, especially if you're used to like drawing on a Windows tablet or something like that. I find that some devices, the iPad, if you're using Procreate, for example, Procreate is super well optimized, and they've really optimized it to the point where there's virtually no pen lag, even on like low-end devices. Here, the apps aren't quite as well optimized on Android. One of the exceptions, though, is the Samsung's Notes app. That is really well tuned for this S Pen. Not that anybody wants to draw on that, but then again, if you're here for note-taking and that sort of thing, hey, here you go. It's great. Now, as much as I like the S Pen, it's not for everyone. It's pretty lightweight. Wacom has literally been putting weights in their Pro Pens to make them feel better when you're holding them in your hand. This pen is really designed for mobility, and it's because it's so light that I often find myself forcing myself not to grip it so tightly when I'm drawing. It also has a rubber tip. That's because this screen, it's smooth, it's glass, it's a tablet, and if you draw with a hard plastic tip on that, there's no resistance. So that's why they're adding that softer tip. Having some resistance is just kind of what you're used to if you're drawing with a pen or a pencil on paper. It's something that I've gotten used to, but when you first start out using this pen, it doesn't feel natural like paper. It is an acquired taste. I mentioned the screen before. It's only an LCD panel, one of the ways that they're keeping the price down in this device. It does look really good. It looks just as good as last year's. I was looking at these things next to each other. It's hard to tell the difference. They're probably the same panel. It doesn't go up to 120 Hz for that smoother animation, but 90 Hz is a nice compromise. If you have an older Android tablet that maybe is only a 60 Hz screen, it's still gonna feel like a really nice upgrade when you come up to this new FE edition. The colors still really pop on the screen. The blacks get almost as black as the bezels along the side, which is something that you find on like really nice OLED panels. Samsung just makes good LCD displays, and that continues here. In fact, I bet most people would have a hard time telling the difference between this and an OLED screen unless they're sitting next to each other and looking for it. I have given up standing next to this box. It keeps falling over. You're just staying on the ground there, buddy. So I'll put up this little promo to my courses instead. Learn how to draw in 60 days. There's a discount code down below if you'd like to learn more about that course. It's how I support this channel and what I do here, you know? Now the resolution of this screen is 1440 pixels by 2304 pixels. This has a 16:9 aspect ratio. iPads are more squarish. This is more rectangular. Which is better? Meh, I think they're both fine. It's not like you have to get used to using this at a different aspect ratio. If you're gonna be watching a lot of videos on this, you don't have the black bars along the top and the bottom like you do on an iPad, and it's fine for drawing. It's actually really good for drawing. I find I have a lot of space for my canvases on even just this smaller 11-inch tablet. That's one of the nice things about many of these drawing apps is that they were phone apps first, and so they have smaller interface elements. So when you blow it up to a tablet size like this, you got a lot of space. There are also some apps that came from the desktop. Specifically, I'm thinking about like Clip Studio Paint and Krita. They've made their way to Android over the years. Clip Studio is offering a more stripped down doodle mode that hides a lot of those interface elements. You can still jump over to full Clip Studio, but I really like that mode. It does come with like a subscription plan to pay for that. Krita, which is a straight up desktop port, still gives you a good amount of drawing room here. And you have all the tools and everything you need. It's totally free. The processor in this tablet is an Exynos 1580, which gives us a little bump over last year's model. I've seen some benchmarks that give this processor a more sizable bump in graphics performance over the old one, which is good news if you're looking to play games on this. But the important thing here is that any drawing app that I threw at this little Android tablet, it can handle it. I don't see stutter, I don't see lag, I don't see anything that says, hey, I can't handle this, I'm slowing down. If you are looking to do like heavy video editing or heavy gaming or that sort of thing, then I would look at the higher end Tab S10. Actually, if I was doing video editing, I'd just skip Android entirely and go to like a PC, but that's just me. But you know, even the games that I was playing on this were holding their own. This is no slouch. There are two storage configurations here. There's 128 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes if you want to pay $70 more. The larger configuration comes with more RAM. It goes from the 8 gigabytes to 12 gigabytes. There's also a micro SD card slot along the side if you want to expand the storage yourself at some point down the road or just are not sure which one to get. Samsung's always been pretty good about including those in their tablets. Now, like I said at the top, this is that middle range price between the S10 and the lower priced S6 Lite. The X6 Lite is okay, but it's not a great processor. It's one of those things that's going to slow down in a few years. And the screen itself is kind of a big step down in quality from this. I think it's a good device if you're on a tight budget or just getting into illustration for the first time. But for a lot of illustrators, the FE is that sweet spot of affordability with solid specs. Now that $500 price tag is up $50 from last year's S9 FE. How much Samsung's products will rise in price here in the US due to tariffs over the next few months, few weeks, few years, it remains to be seen. Most of Samsung's phones and tablet production has moved to Vietnam in recent years. The tariff rate on Vietnamese goods shot up to 46% for a little while, but that rate was then put on pause for 90 days, during which time that rate is going to be at 10%. After that 90 days pause, it's anybody's guess as to what's going to happen. Heck, it's possible that all of this could change by the time I hit publish on this video. The advice I often give to people with Samsung products is, hey, wait 4 to 6 months. Their tablets always go on sale. And so a tablet like this, you could get for like $50 less, $100 less by the holidays. Now, no idea. I don't know what to tell you. Absolutely no clue. This thing could cost $100 less in 6 months. It could cost $200 more in 6 months. It is nuts out there. And I have a feeling over the next few months, that's going to be the story with a lot of products that I'm reviewing. We're going to see prices going up. Samsung might avoid a lot of that by being based in Vietnam, but I think a lot of the other Android tablets are coming straight from China, and those prices, they're gonna be going up. That makes it a lot harder to do a value judgment, the type of thing I like to do at the end of these videos, because I just don't know where we're gonna be by the end of the year. But as of right now, I think the price point for the quality of device you're getting is pretty good. If you like this style of video, check out these. Also, I have a link down below for that Learn to Draw in 60 Days course, and mentioned before, also my Intro to Digital Art course is on there too. Thank you all for watching. I'll talk to you in a couple of days.